Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. Today we continue our story over the Renewable Fuel Standard and the Environmental Protection Agency. Ag AM in Kansas recently attended a meeting between producers and committee groups in the Environmental Protection Agency who discussed the RFS. We will also take a look at the Kansas Agribusiness Retailers Association and Kansas State Educational Field Day, discussing the event's annual program and current trends presented at the Field Day. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. U.S. corn producers and others gathered in Kansas City in June to show their support for rural America and the Rally for Rural America over the Renewable Fuel Standard. The rally allowed for many to express their support of biofuels and their displeasure with the Environmental Protection Agency's proposal to cut the renewable fuel standard for corn ethanol by 3.75 billion gallons through 2016. The decrease of corn-based ethanol represents nearly 1.5 billion bushels in lost corn demand. So corn producers are testifying to the Environmental Protection Agency about the potential harms it could cause the ag industry. Pat Ross is a farmer from Northeast Kansas and knows firsthand the importance of renewable fuels for the United States.
My name is Pat Ross, a farmer from Lawrence, Kansas, and I was asked to come today to testify in front of the EPA panel to visit with them about the RFS, and it's a real pleasure to get to do that. On our farm, we grow the corn and we also utilize the distiller's grains that are a byproduct from the ethanol production. And it's become very, very important to our cattle feeding operation to be able to utilize those byproducts from the ethanol. Also, the ethanol has increased the demand for our corn products, and we as farmers have stepped forward and met that head on, and we're providing the corn that not only is needed for the food and fiber of this country, but also for the fuel. And I think we've come a long ways just in a short period of time, and most of that has come from rural people investing and in building these plants. As was talked about here today, we've not had an oil refinery built in this country for years and years and years, but we've been able to get these ethanol production plants built, and they're very efficient, provide very good jobs for our rural communities, and have really helped us in our corn prices that we receive today.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Poe. Here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center, utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Well-designed container flower gardens bring beauty to your home, at your entry, on your patio, or placed in a special spot in your landscape. Let Jackson's help you select the correct plant combinations which will add the color and style you need and that will survive the summer to provide beauty till frost.
Our annual flat sale is going on now. Choose a flat of 4 packs for just $18.99.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com. This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Aim in Kansas. I'm Conrad Cavis. In the United States, a non-petroleum alternative includes ethanol. However, recently, the Environmental Protection Agency's proposal to cut the renewable fuel standard for corn ethanol by 3.75 billion gallons through 2016 means a decrease of corn-based ethanol, which represents nearly 1.5 billion lost in corn demand. So corn producers are testifying to the Environmental Protection Agency. Recently, U.S. corn producers, state leaders, and ethanol supporters joined others from across the nation at the Rally for Rural America in Kansas City. Today we continue our story on the RFS rally in Kansas City.
My husband and I are station owners out of Wichita, Kansas, and we are very big advocates for fuel choice because we realize that fuel choice, fuel competition is a way that our country can become energy independent. And as long as we are dependent solely on oil, we will never be able to be energy independent because we will always be relying on foreign oil. So it's very, very important for our country to embrace renewable fuels. Instead of fighting renewable fuels, we need to be blending more renewable fuels into our fuel supply instead of decreasing them. And some of the problems that station owners run into, especially if they're branded, is that they are forced to buy E85 from the oil companies who keep the pricing up because they don't want it to look too desirable. There is a new grant out. It's a $100 million grant by the USDA to build infrastructure, and it's for blender pumps, and each state is supposed to apply for that. But what we need is we need more blender pumps out there so that the independent gas station owners can buy directly from the ethanol plant and blend their own mixtures of E30, E50, E85 and pass those savings on to the consumer.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Cindy Norris, who is a 6th grade teacher from Manhattan, Kansas, is joining us. And Cindy, you just completed the Summer Soybean Science Institute at Kansas State University, and I'm sure that was quite the time that you had there in Manhattan.
It was a blast. It's probably one of the most beneficial professional developments I've ever gotten to participate in 30 years of teaching.
What was the biggest reason you wanted to participate in this?
As an educator, I'm still one of those that likes to learn new things, and I had heard from several other colleagues that had participated, how beneficial it was, things that take back and use immediately in their classroom, and it's all tied to our science standards, and it's also things that we can take in and use, some technology that we received.
And this is obviously using the soybeans as the model.
We started the first day just looking at a soybean plant and having to draw it and label it, and some of us looked at each other like, I don't know what those are called. And by the end, we could name it, and we know where it's grown. We know the materials that are used in certain products are from soybeans, and we learned about plant diseases.
Being able to learn it is one thing. Being able to get it and use it in the classroom is another.
We had the opportunity to design some lessons after some of our different field trips. We went out to the North Field and looked at the plants in the ground, and we had several guest speakers and scientists and things from Kansas State and gave us some ideas, and we were able to go and then design some lessons that we ended up presenting to each other, and then those are things that each of us individually were interested in, and then we were able to take those and hopefully use them at our school. I'm hoping to use some in my classroom students this year at school. We've written letters of thank you to the Soybean Commission and just thanking them for funding this and hoping that they continue to do this. It's something I would highly recommend. We had teachers from Manhattan and Junction City and out by Chapman and Topeka and Silver Lake, and being able to spread the word and getting more people to understand science's inquiry in a different way and a different approach with children, I think is so beneficial. And so the Kansas Soybean Commission is a huge part of making that happen for all of us.
This course was led by Dr. Brian McCornack at Kansas State University.
He was fantastic. He's got a true passion for bugs and insects, and this is his specialty, and he just has a passion, and it definitely rubs off on you. And
that is Cindy Norris, a 6th grade teacher from Manhattan, Kansas, as she participated in this year's Summer Soybean Science Institute being put on by Kansas State University and by the Kansas Soybean Commission. This has been the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. As fourth-generation farmers themselves, they understand the importance of using the correct products on every acre. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag offers quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today at 800-760-4964 or find us online at HeinenBrothersAg.com.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help? How can we help?
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag, farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cavis. In early July, the Kansas Agriculture Retailers Association and Kansas State University partnered to host an agronomy-based educational field day at the Kansas State Agronomy Farm. The event brought participants from various backgrounds to learn about the latest in crop innovations and diagnostics.
We are here at the North Farm, Kansas State University. It's a program that we have primarily with the Department of Agronomy, and it's called the Summer Diagnostic School. It's intended primarily for certified crop advisors to provide training to crop advisors in the state of Kansas. We do have also some crop advisors that come from Nebraska and Oklahoma. During this week, we repeat the program twice, and we have a total of about 180 participants and focus on different aspects of agronomy, pathology, entomology, precision agriculture topics, and again, just basically provide an overall an update every year for these crop advisors for training opportunities.
The KSU Field Day and the Kansas Agribusiness Retailers Association sponsor the two-day event for those in ag input and consulting. It combines back-to-back information with the latest in technology and crop diagnostics in a hands-on approach.
Yes, there are many things that happen obviously before we get to this point. A lot of the plots that we have, the demonstration areas, need to be prepared basically first thing when the season starts to have everything ready. We collaborate with industry very closely for this program with the KERA, the Kansas Agribusiness Retailers Association in particular. So it's really a joint effort between industry, Kansas State agronomy, and again require a lot of preparation primarily to get everything ready in the field and have it ready at this stage in terms of the crop growth and development.
Highlights from this year's program include a soil pH presentation, weed identification, insects and diseases, crop growth and development, water quality, and soil fertility. The annual program consistently provides relevant and current trend information to participants.
So in terms of the program, the topics that we cover during this week is really vary in range from things that could be a little bit more of a review for the crop advisors to keep up, basically maintain some of the basic knowledge in terms of things like crop growth and development, herbicides, insects, pathogens, and that sort of things. That could be a little bit of a review for many of them. For many of the newer professionals, maybe the first time that they are looking at those things. But we also mix with some of our current topics, for example, new technology, precision agriculture, technologies in terms of new chemicals, new fertilizers. And so it's really a combination of things during the week that we try to cover in terms of review type, more of a basic information, as well as more newer current information.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
If you missed the opportunity to apply crabgrass preventer to your lawn last month, there's still time. Apply Fertilome's new product, Professional Turf Weed Out Plus Crabgrass Preventer. This product kills new crabgrass, it also prevents new crabgrass and other weeds, kills dandelions, and fertilizes your lawn all in one application.
Visit Jackson's. We'll show you how to grow the best lawn in your neighborhood.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Healthy cows start with the new Hired Hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher. Get the new Hired Hand for yourself or become a distributor. Visit cowsprayer.com. The new Hired Hand makes healthy cows easy.
First-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Aim in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. In this segment, we continue our story over the Agriculture Retailers Association and Kansas State University agronomy-based educational field day on the Kansas State University campus. The event brought participants from various backgrounds to learn from presenters about weed identification, insects and diseases, crop growth and development, and more. Dr. Kevin Donnelly of Kansas State discussed the importance of weed identification.
Well, this section is on weed identification. We've worked through a number of parts. First of all, we kind of had a little class session on just parts of plants and how plants in general grow, different emergence types between grasses and broadleaf plants, and relating that both to crops and then to weeds, and how those differences may affect our ability to control various weed species, grasses versus broadleaf plants and so forth. And then we move on to actually have about 40 plants out, seedling plants, and so the participants have been currently in the process of going through and working with a key and trying to see if they can identify the weeds that we have out.
Weed identification is important for producers and consultants to help procure ways to solve weed-related issues in fields.
A lot of the participants in the workshop today are involved with retail sales or with crop consulting, and so they're out dealing every day in the summertime with problems that need to be solved, and that could involve weed identification or managing crops in various ways. So we think that a lot of what they've learned today they'll be able to actually take to the field. Some of them do not have maybe formal training in weed science, and so this is kind of a crash course to get them a little more comfortable with giving them some additional tools to help with their day-to-day jobs.
David Mingle is a professor of soil fertility and nutrient management at Kansas State University. His presentation discussed the problems with soil fertility for Kansas producers.
Soils are becoming more acid over time because of the addition of nitrogen fertilizer. And we haven't done as good a job as we perhaps should have of managing that acidity. So consequently, we really wanted to emphasize the point that they need to look at the variability in soil pH and soil properties out in the field and do some variable rate liming to adjust that. And we're finding that it's not unusual to get a 10 to 20% yield increase long term from the use of lime and adjusting that pH. The other thing that we're dealing with is we have a problem associated with low potassium. Again, it's something that's been developing over time as we continually crop our soils and as we intensify our cropping and bring in new crops like soybeans in the state. They tend to remove large amounts of nutrients and they just need to be replaced. And we're just reached that point in the last few years that we're really becoming aware of it, and it's becoming an issue that has to be addressed.
Dr. Mingle recommends soil testing for long-term soil quality. Knowledge of the amount of phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and other elements in the farm soil determine pros and cons for future growing seasons.
We invest a large amount of money in fertilizers and different management practices, and we need to start thinking about ways that we can ensure that we're getting a good return on our investment. So we talk about soil testing from the standpoint of making fertilizer recommendations, but we ought to be thinking also about keeping track of our soil tests over long periods of time on a particular area in the field to look and see, is that soil test changing, and if so, is it going up? Is it going down? Do we need to increase our rates? Do we need to decrease our rates because of excess accumulation? And that's going to be one of the key things. And the other aspect of that is plant analysis. It's a tool which we've never used in Kansas very much, but things are constantly changing, and it can be an early warning system for us if, for example, we begin to see problems associated with clean air and the lack of sulfur, which is one that is actually occurring right now.
Thank you for watching this program over the Renewable Fuel Standard and Educational Field Days. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this episode again, visit us on www.agaminkansas.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. So have a good day with good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.